Now, the Judicial Service Commission has heard concerns from Supreme Court of Appeal Justice Betty Molemela on perceptions that South Africa is sliding into a state of lawlessness. The Commission also resolved to recommend Molemela for the position of Supreme Court of Appeal President following her interview on Monday. The post has been vacant since Justice Mandisa Maya was appointed to the Deputy Chief Justice of South Africa. Newzroom Afrika's Govan Whittles reports.
The JSC interviews began with an assurance by the Chief Justice that candidates for vacancies in the judiciary wouldn't be blindsided or embarrassed. As the first candidate being interviewed following newly adopted criteria, Justice Betty Molemela voiced her approval.
The most recent development in as far as this body is concerned is it confirming the criteria that are going to be taken into account when processes like this one are embarked upon, and how the competence of judges will be assessed. I think that was circulated in October last year, if I'm not mistaken, and I read it, and I felt reassured, and so I have nothing to complain about.
In a wide-ranging interview, Justice Molemela outlined her vision of how she would run the Supreme Court of Appeal. She described the court as a lodestar of excellence.
It is the lodestar at the moment. Many courts look up to it. And on many occasions, it has been described as the seat of jurisprudential excellence. My intention is to keep things that way. However, as I have already pointed out, if the research function is not beefed up, there is a risk that that will not be achieved.
She weighed in on perceptions that South Africa is sliding into lawlessness.
I really can't comment on whether it was a fair comment in the context of that matter or not, but I can just say in many judgments, especially judgments relating to gender-based violence, which is very prevalent, regrettably, in this country. We have bemoaned the fact that the prevalence is really shocking and unacceptable, and that it gives an indication that we are now slowly turning towards a lawless country.
And the SCA Justice believes the judiciary should be engaged in society.
The one thing that I know a number of judges have been doing is giving public lectures at universities and participating in panel discussions at those platforms as well. I know I have done it a couple of times at the University of the Free State, and I think that's what colleagues will be willing to do, because I don't think it creates, it might just be a perception, but I don't think it creates a good impression if, the society's view about the judges is that they are disengaged when it comes to matters of the Constitution, because we are not.
The JSC interviews will continue throughout the week, with candidates being considered for vacancies at multiple courts. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Govan Whittles in Johannesburg.